and we get to move into the fun part of the evening, which is Maison Fleurie. So I want to welcome you all for being here tonight for our Maison Fleurie Award Ceremony. Je vous remercie pour tout ce que vous faites pour notre ville. Ça, c'est très important parce que les couleurs sont belles et ça donne la qualité de vie à nos résidents. You know, the city manager, I don't think she's in the room right now, but the city manager just gave me, Tanya Bramvich, gave me a book to read called Joyful, because I'm always talking about happiness and how we can improve each other's quality of life. And Joyful all is about color. It talks about how color changes how people feel. The fact that today we have these flowers here and these nice posters makes this meeting a happier place than without it. I'm talking about you, Tanya, and about Joyful. And so what you do for our city, you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for all the people that walk by in front of your houses, in front of the establishments, whether it's the local church, whether it's one of the condo associations, or your home. People walk by and they feel good. That's one of the things about Côte Saint-Luc. It's our parks and all our green spaces and everything that you add on with the flowers that you have for that's what we call it, Maison Fleurie. It gives us a quality of life and great joy. So thank you all for what you do in terms of your flowers. And the co-chairs of this event are Mike Cohen and Sydney Benizri. So I'm going to hand over the show to them in order to thank you all for everything you do for our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sydney, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, sure. So, thank you, Mike. Merci, c'est un vrai plaisir d'être ici ce soir avec vous. C'est formidable de me retrouver dans ce rôle une fois de plus. J'ai toujours admiré la beauté des arrangements floraux au sein de notre communauté. Alors, let's begin this evening.
Now, that is not tonight's script, right?
No.
Because that looks familiar from a couple of years ago. So I just was going to read something out that didn't belong. So we used to have the Maison Fleurie as a ceremony unto itself, but we know how badly you all want to see a city council meeting, so we figured we'd merge it because we know, and by the way, it's on YouTube. If you want to watch it late at night, you can watch it during the week. But we're glad you're here in the council chamber to join us today. So we have various categories tonight: single family and detached dwellings, duplexes, townhouses,
Apartment, condominium, seniors, residents, institutions, church, hospital, synagogue, and businesses.
And a new format since last year, we're now announcing all the winners by district. So please remain in your seat until we invite you up collectively for a photo. You'll come up over there with that nice backdrop. You'll take a photo with the mayor and your district councillor. So please wait for that to occur. So we will start with District 1, which is Councillor Oren Sabag, and I'll let Sydney announce the winners in those categories.
Thank you. So, single family, first place, 5819, Tommy Douglas, Na Wang. Second place, 5850, Tommy Douglas, Ellen Silver. Second place, 6000, Tommy Douglas, Ellen Schroeter. Third place, 3160, Bernard Megler, Claude Arroche, and Gina Charpentier.
Very good. You can continue. We'll bring everybody up at the same time.
Apartment, first place, 5500 Borden, de Monteverdi Apartments. Second place, 5304 McDonald, Federal Construction Limited. Second place, 5350 McDonald, 5350 McDonald Inc. Third place, 5360 McDonald, Federal Construction Limited. And the third place, 57 McDonald, also Federal Construction Limited. Condominium, first place, 5140 McDonald, Le Doré. So congratulations, district number 1 winners. Please come forward for your group photo.
And we thank our magnificent photographer, Rami Negev, who takes the beautiful photos. They're up there for you to see. Rami's been around for a long time, and his photography gets better every year. 9 years. No, but you... 29 years, Rami. You were at your bar mitzvah when you came here for that, okay.
Almost.
All right, is that the lone representative from the district who's joined us tonight? I think someone else is coming up.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. We got a few more coming. See, it's a good thing we got that Rami Negev 29 years in there. We gave them time to get up here. So next year, it's Rami's 30th year. I think we'll have to honor him next year.
Yes.
Hang around for one more year, Rami. Let's shoot for 50, Rami. You'll do your district.
It's okay. It's okay. You can do it after. We're going to see the numbers, but you can do it.
Yeah, we'll rotate.
It's fine. Go ahead, my friend. Very good.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move to my district, District 2. I do walkabouts in my district on a regular basis, and, you know, I admire the way people keep up their houses, their condos, and so on and so forth, so it's wonderful to recognize you tonight. For single-family dwelling, first place, this is one of the new streets near the Quartier Cavendish, 5771 Jubilee, Michael Marianer. I don't know if Michael's here, but if he's here, if you're here, just wave so we know who you are. And second place, 5788 Ilan Ramon, Frank Palucci and Sandra Camboni. Are they here today? I go to their house all the time and hang with them. I don't see them here. And third place, 5798 Ilan Ramon, Larry Lieberman and Joan Singer. And I don't see them here either. Okay, we'll move to townhouses. First place, 6590 Kildare, Rona Lynn Lecker. Is Rona here? Rona Lynn Lecker. Second place, I know they're here, 6532 Mackle, Terry Wolkov. And she knows a great dentist, I believe. She's here. That's great. You'll have up in a second. Second place, where I live at 5655 Merrimack, Elan Corsia and Jennifer Yule. Are they here tonight? Third place, 6616 Mackle, Joseph Grossman. I don't see Joey here tonight. We move to the apartments. First place, 5795 Sir Walter Scott, the Oak Ridge building. Congratulations to them. And second place, 5785 Sir Walter Scott. It's the 57085 building. That's what it's known as. We move to the condos. Now. First place, 5850 Mark Chagall, the Rothschild 2. The Rothschild 2, is anyone here from the Rothschild 2? Okay, good. First place, 6500 Mackle, the Rothschild 1. Did anyone come from the Rothschild 1? I know they emailed me. And second place, 5845. I see Mr. Kaplowski here, and I see a few of others from the building. 5845 Mark Chagall, La Marquise. All right, terrific. So if the District 2 winners who are present can please come join me on the stage.
Okay, so congratulations, district number 2. And now we're moving to district number 3, Councillor Dida Berku. So single family, first place, 6799 Bailey, Paolina Di Stefano Giancarli and Pietro Giancarli. Second place, 6539 Bailey, Candida Di Marco. Second place, 6541 Bailey, Ernesto D'Alessandro. Second place, 5588 Randall, Irving Rabin and Zelda Rabin. And the third place, 5526 Borden, Charles Gizer and Debbie Skarnik. OK, alors on va passer au duplex. La première place, 6641, 6643 Bailey, Remo D'Alessio. Deuxième place, 6637, 6639 Bailey, Remo D'Alessio and Linda Castelli. Et la troisième place, 6613, 6615 Bailey, Mario D'Alessio and Kathleen Diri. Senior residents, first place, 6767 Côte Saint-Luc, St. Patrick Square. And the institutions, first place, 7003 Côte Saint-Luc, McDonald's, Pierre Brunet. So please, congratulations, district number 3 winners. Please come forward for your group photo.
I don't think McDonald's has ever won an award before.
Absolutely.
This is the first time. I like those flowers that were shaped like hamburgers. They were very, very well done. That must have gotten it for them. There he is. There's Pierre's the point man.
Oh,
Is that your first time, eh?
This is McDonald's.
Dennis is here from McDonald's, everybody. Look how slim Dennis stays working at McDonald's. How do you do it, Dennis? Every day he has a hamburger.
Very good. So you're going to do the next one.
Next year we might have the ceremony at McDonald's, Dennis. Up on the second floor. Very good. We're now going to move on to District 4, Councillor Stephen Erdely. And single-family dwellings, first place, 5528 Hudson, Giovanni Brancatella and Antonio Fusito. Second place, 8110 Côte Saint-Luc Road, Ida Pancioni and Mather Di Leonardo. Third place, 628 Smart Avenue, Gaetano Barretta. We'll move to the duplexes. First place, 7497 99 Bailey, Jamie Touquet and Sasayan Kabatpat, and Marlene Kabatbat, and Enrico Cagioa. Next year I'm giving you this list, Sydney. Second place, 5580 60 Adalbert, Domenico Ciampini, and Gloria Zegarilli. Third place, 5524 26 Earl, Michaela Dester, and Elvira Lipkin. For the townhouses, first place, 5529 Ashdale, Tulin, Karkin, Yurtku. Second place, 5537 Ashdale. I just saw him last night walking through Place des Arts. Eric Butball, is he here? Is Eric here? I saw him last night. He's a jeweler at Complex Desjardins. If you're looking for a ring, go see Eric. And he also has time to do flowers. Third place, 5535 Ashdale, Leah Sizik Tenzer. And apartment buildings, first place, 7461 Kingsley, Latour, Westfield. Seniors residence, first place, 5555 Trent, Le King David. Will the group District 4 winners present with us today please come to the stage? Do we have anybody here from District 4 winners? Yes, we do. Terrific. Come meet your young Councillor Stephen Erdely, the next generation of councillors. That's what it says on his posters. Oh, they're good. Nice turnout.
You're doing a good job, my friend.
It's fun.
Come and sit right there.
What they really next year, Isaac Benizzi's got to come.
Right,
Where does he live, Isaac?
Huh?
Where does he live?
Edgemore, my
Okay.
district.
Get him to do some flowers next year.
Why not? He has a nice house, usually.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Very nice, so congratulations, District 4. And now we're going to move to District 5A, Councillor Mitch Kujavsky. So single family, first place, 5819 West Luc, Stephen Pacini and Giovanna Sciabatoni and Franco Piccinini.
Very good, Sydney.
Not bad. Second place, 5777 Rand, Mario Polisena and Antonia Pirozzi Polisena. Third place, 5807 Smart Armando Giordano and Frances Golfi Giordano. And now we move to District 5B, single family, first place, 5735 West Luc, Anthony Cerulli. Second place, 5618 Palmer, Zenaida Ramos and Julieta Makareg Schneider. Second place, 5628 Wolseley, Bulub Data and Rani Debroy Supta. Third place, 5705 Davis, Sotero Suplico and Jani Canindo. Institutions, first place, 5740 Hudson Beth Zion Congregations. So please, District 7 winners, come forward for your group photo. Thank you. I hope the name was...
You did a good job.
I try. I took the other thing just to see.
You confused me. I was almost
No.
reading last year's script.
This is 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago I missed it.
There is no sponsor.
No, because they don't need to, because we don't do an
Yeah,
elaborate thing
exactly.
anymore. We do a small, you know.
Your friend, Dorfman, David.
That's
The
why,
next.
that's why he got his hair cut today. I'm jealous.
Oh, go ahead.
Very nice. We'll now move on to District 6, Councillor David Torgman. Councillor Torgman, join us, please. Single-family dwellings will begin with first place from 5793 Einstein, Rose, Sachs, Saphir. A tie for first place, 5797 Einstein, Francine Waxman, Reddick. Second place, 5616 Parkhaven, Maurice Bendahan. Second place, 7480 Spring, Seymour Rosen. Third place, 5830 Einstein, Jason Portnoy and Corinne Rashi. Third place, 7523 Mountbatten, Martin Leslie Lenetsky. Not Martin, okay. Duplex, first place, 6883, 6885, Ronaldo Clarici. Second place, 7386, 7388 Kildare, Carlo Palucci. Third place, 5680, 5862 Shalom, Luigi Pedicelli and Antonio Giobbi. Is that related to Mo? Related to Mo Giobbi? Yeah. Mo might have to accept it. It is. Townhouse, where's Mo? Mo still in the room? Oh, he's downstairs. We might need him.
Yeah, it is.
The Townhouse, first place, 5832 Kellert, Larry Jacobson and Jana Simandl. And apartment, first place, 6865 Norwalk. And institutions, first place, 6800 Mackle, Congregation Beth Israel. Are any of the recipients from District 6 here tonight? I think we're going to have to build a McDonald's in District 6. Have we got it? Terrific. All right, terrific. All right, come on up. Come on up. We've been waiting for you. You're going to represent the entire district today. Dennis, what do you think? Right near Wager, we could build a McDonald's. What do you think? Yeah, right inside that new apartment building, the bottom floor. How would you like that, Councillor Torgman? Can we build a McDonald's at the bottom floor? What do you think? Kosher McDonald's, absolutely.
Next to the
HCC. So if you have a Big Mac attack for kosher, you can do it. All right, Sydney, go ahead, your district.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So District 7, single family. First place, 5740 Kellert, Amos and Judy Sokachevsky. Second place, 6869 Edison, Sandra Zekilovic. Second place, 5718 Einstein, Owen Strolovich and Joanne Bendon. Third place, 6885 Benting, Sylvain Shemtob and Lucy Boisvert. Third place, 5610 Edgemore, Rita Geyer Rosenthal. Duplex. First place, 570406 Edgemore, Joseph Panunto and Brenda Hines Panunto. Second place, 571618 Edgemore, Ludwig Lidinia. Third place, 5708 and 10 Edgemore, E.C. Fishman. And for the condominium, first place, 5700, 5720 Cavendish Presidential Towers. Second place, 6785-95 Corzac Tiffany Towers. Third place, 6803 Haywood, Le Versailles. Institutions, first place, 7070 Guelph, St. Richard's Parish. So, congratulations to the District 7 winners. Please come forward for your group photo.
All right, I know that, yeah. Mazel tov. All right. We've got a good turnout. Boy, Sydney knows how to bring out his district. Sydney, what's your secret, Sydney? How do you do it? Look at this. I think Sydney's constituents will follow him anywhere. It's pretty clear. Look at this. Yep. Way to go. Sydney, congratulations. District 8, this is the first Maison Fleurie in many, many years that Councillor Ruth Kovac is not with us. She passed away a few months ago, but Ruth loved flowers. In fact, if anyone followed her on Facebook and Instagram, every Friday she had a photo of the flowers on her table for Shabbat dinner. So I know we're doing a lot of things in Ruth's memory, and we can add this to the list. So Mayor Brownstein will present on her behalf. The by-election to succeed Ruth Kovac will be on April the 5th, but until then, we're all keeping her seat warm. Single-family dwelling, District 8, first place, 6531 Wallenberg, Judy Sorcati. Second place, 6038 Krieghoff, Elaine Solomon Stein. Third place, 6848 Ashkelon, Paul Lieberman and Haley Simons. Third place, 6044 Krieghoff, making his comeback. I haven't been here in a long time. Dr. Irving Burstein, who I spent the Ort Gala with last night. Welcome back, Irving, and his lovely young wife, Carol Denberg. Townhouses, first place, 60443 Cavendish, our VCOPs our dog owners on the Dogs Committee, they do it all. The super couple, Harvey Schwartz and Susie Berkson Schwartz, there they are. First place, a tie, 6073 Cavendish, Howard Smith and Karen Rudolph. Second place, 6067 Cavendish, Francine Newdorf. And third place, 6051 Cavendish, Peter Vactor. For the condominiums, the first place, 6005 Cavendish, the Shadow Collins. Second place, 5950 Cavendish, Loritz 1 and Loritz 2. What one Ritz does, the other Ritz does. Third place, 6525 Mackle, the Manoir Mackle Condominium. We'd like to congratulate the District 8 winners. If you please come forward for your group photo.
Yeah. And, she's not here, Laura?
Who's that? No, I don't see her.
Yeah, huh?
No.
But they have an assistant there, or two people. Cornelia and her team.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe invite Cornelia to take the picture with them, no? After.
What's that?
Invite Cornelia to take the picture with them, or after you
No, not necessarily.
There are a lot of people here also. Wow.
Susie, next year you bring the dogs to the contest because they guard your flowers. They make sure no one steps on your flowers. That's right, exactly.
This is a nice picture. Okay. This is the whole mishpacha.
That's right. Ruth would be very proud of this turnout today.
Yeah.
And the beautiful flowers.
Absolutely.
Cornelia, I'd like to know if Cornelia could just come up for a minute because I'd like you to give credit to all the people who worked on this event. Can you come up and just tell us? I know there's a lot of people that work behind the scenes. Sydney and I really did very little. Your team did a great job. If you could just tell us some of the people who were, I know Laura and others, just mention who they were and the judges. Go ahead.
Good job, guys.
This is Cornelia Ziga, our wonderful Director of Parks and Recreation, tireless worker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, thank you everybody for coming tonight. This is a very proud event for the department for sure. We start in the month of June and go right through to August, and we go to every single home, every single institution, to make sure that all the flowers are beautiful for the city. So we thank you for decorating your homes, and we certainly thank the staff, everywhere from our VCOPs that help us, our public security, as well as the staff at the Recreation Department. Laura, Sarah, Maria, Beate, and Mo, who's around here somewhere. So just a quick thank you to all of them, and thank you to you.
Thank you very much, and we really appreciate it. We're going to begin our regular council meeting. I know you all want to stay here till 11 o'clock, so it's going to be a thrilling meeting. But we start off with a public question period, and I heard that Dr. Burstein has a question, his first question in 25 years. That's what a rumor has it. So we're going to wait and see if he does. Okay. So thank you all for coming. You can say in français.
Merci à tous et bonne soirée. Et à l'année prochaine, si Dieu veut.
Thank you all, guys. Thanks for coming.
Well, very good. I can't imagine how you juggle, how you must juggle.
Does that mean we can move forward now?
I have to say hello.
Yes? Okay. Good. How are you?
One for each building.
Now I have to stay.
I do. I have a question. Daryl, it's on? Not loud. Okay, we're going to have to start our council meeting, so we'd appreciate if those who are not here for the meeting would quietly take a cookie and enjoy the awards. They should all have a cookie. Cornelia, maybe you want to move the cookies outside. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the City of Côte Saint-Luc for Monday, December the 12th. To my right is our Assistant City Clerk, Jason Prévost, Councillor David Torgman, Councillor Oren Sabag, Councillor Mike Cohen, Councillor myself, Mayor Mitchell Brownstein, Councillor Dida Berku, Councillor Stephen Erdely, Councillor Sidney Benizri, Councillor Mitch Kajavsky, our City Manager, Tanya Baramovich, our Assistant City Manager, Nadia DeFuria, our Co-City Manager and Director of Legal Services, Jonathan Schechter. Our first order of business is question period. If you want to ask a question, there's pieces of paper over there next to our wonderful VCOPs who are winners of Maison Fleurie tonight again. You can fill out a form and ask a question. The first question that I have is from Bernard Cohen. Bernard Cohen. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I was standing here before you on the October 23rd meeting. I explained a major issue we are having regarding Gary Carter Field. You requested I send an email and said that the issue will be analyzed and discussed further. However, I did not receive any reply from you. Tonight, I come here once again. Tonight, I bring with me a petition signed by 150 people from Côte Saint-Luc. These are 150 Côte Saint-Luc taxpayers. These are mostly long-term residents, all agreeing with us. I urge you once more to please rectify this problem. I'm sorry, but there's not one valid argument why the West Island Senior League should have all the slots available in a Côte Saint-Luc park, especially at the expense of a local team. Our members and their families have been taxpayers for more than 40 years. How can we be constantly denied fair access to the field? The only response I get from Parks and Recreation is that the client is in good standing. He's the biggest league in Montreal. Of course he's going to be in good standing. So for the next 20, 30 years, nobody can play?
Right. Well, you can bring...
Again, I'm not done, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I think we deserve a bit of respect. First of all, I came here once 2 months ago. I don't understand the resistance to get 2 slots. There's not one sports facility in any sport and any municipality that give all their availabilities to one entity. How can this be accepted? In any walk of life, and a monopoly is not accepted. Please make this right.
Sure.
And I'm going to give you
The
please.
petition you can give to our city clerk, Jason Prévost, and, I know. But Councillor Sabag would first like to respond, so please do go ahead.
Thank you.
I know Cornelia Ziga sent an email on November 13th, but you can respond. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I do remember you coming here, and I do remember us talking about this, and there was some internal discussions about this, but I do also understand, and this is where it starts to become a delicate situation, that you, and I see some of my, some people that I know that I've played with baseball, that you separated from the league, and therefore are now looking for the same spots that they are looking for.
No.
So,
Yeah.
so I think there's some delicateness that needs to be kind of clarified. It is a league that's been here for a long time. It's a league that you guys have participated in. And, you know, to come here, and I think the mayor deserves the right to understand a little bit more of the context, and not just saying it's Côte Saint-Luc residents that want, because you didn't complain about that before.
Yes,
when
we
you
did.
played in
Of
that
course
league.
we did.
No, when you played in that league,
Yes,
you
we
did not complain.
We did.
So,
we called. We didn't come. I never complain. I never come to these things.
Anyway.
No,
I
but
called.
when you played in that league.
But every year we wanted to leave that league. But since he has
so
all
now you left.
Anyway, thank you, Councillor Sabag, and thank you, sir, for coming. And we did receive your petition. Parks and Recreation Director Cornelia Ziga did send you an email explaining the position of the city. Listen, we have limited space, limited facilities. She explained the position of the city. This is not a time. I took your petition.
Sir.
We'll look at it. Parks and Recreation will look at it. But this is not the time to have a debate. We got your question, and we thank you.
No problem. It's not, I know it's not the place for a debate, but I was under the impression I was getting a call and we would be able to debate this. Again, the only email I got was saying that this client is in good standing. It's not a reason for a local team to not be able to reserve the
As I
field.
said,
And just to finish the
no,
point.
we're done. We have limited space. Like I said, we have limited space on our fields.
It's not-
but-
I have four
but
minutes, yeah.
You did send a petition, so I will have the Director of Parks and Recreation follow up with you. That is the proper forum to discuss this further. So the Director of Parks and Recreation, Cornelia Ziga, will follow up the petition with you. Thank you.
It's all right.
Thank you. The next questioner is Samuel Galette.
Good evening, Mayor and councilors. I'm considering investing in property in your city of Côte Saint-Luc. However, in looking over the bylaws, I find that it's illegal to have any form of office or small business in the basement of a home. So the only ones that are permitted are members of professional orders, such as a doctor, a lawyer, and a notary. Anybody else, you can't have an office, you can't do anything, can't do any work in your home. So in other words, if the mayor himself has an office in his home, it's illegal. He could be fined. Under the law, he could be fined, and the same for the rest of you. So what I've done is I've done some research in other municipalities in Montreal who have currently changed their bylaws to suit the needs of the public in their environment. For example, Pointe-Claire has a bylaw which is called the additional use in a single-family detached home, and Laval has one called Bureau à domicile. And I'm going to hand you the information and hope that someone will follow up, and that I'll hear very soon that there's going to be a change in Côte Saint-Luc to bring Côte Saint-Luc into the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. No, honestly, we do appreciate that, sir. So, Maitre Schechter, I think we're working on that bylaw. Okay, so Jason Prévost would be the person, give it to me, I'll get it to him. But we are actually looking through the Urban Planning Department on that bylaw to see what modification should take place. We are in 2019. And that's why that's very useful in their work, so thank you. Thank you, I'll make sure that he gets that. Want to pass that back? What kind of office are you looking at opening? Just so we know for our purposes in our studies, what kind of office are you interested in opening?
If I
Okay, all right, so Maître Prévost understands and has that information. Thank you. Our next questioner is Irving Bernstein. Bernstein, so you got him to ask a question. Very good.
I printed too. So I've been meaning to come actually for a long time, and you got me out here for the Maison Fleurie. So you know where I live on Krieghoff, and I've lived there for 30-something years. And I have to tell you, for many, many years, there's an issue with people speeding down our street. Okay, people come down Wallenberg, and they turn around and they go shooting down Krieghoff, and then they do the same thing at the other end. I don't understand why a stop sign has never been put up, why a speed bump has never been in place. I mean, there's some really vicious speed bumps in Côte Saint-Luc, and something should be done to slow down the traffic. I actually did call the police during the summer. There were 2 or 3 people that were just, you know, it was a drag strip, you know, and they did catch them.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Councillor Torchman, who's the portfolio councillor responsible for traffic. I'm going to ask to have that placed on the agenda, the situation on Krieghoff with respect to speeding and what can be done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further questions?
I said that it.
You got one. Yeah. Jamie Fabian. Yeah. Jamie Fabian, come on up.
So my question's about VCOPs. So I've been speaking to a few VCOPs actually, and they've been telling me that there have been a few inefficiencies recently regarding the system in terms of car washing, in terms of like basic maintenance of the vehicles and upkeep. And I think that this is something that many residents have noticed when the vehicles have been going around the city, and it's just really present in, you know, the cleanliness of the vehicles. And I think it really reflects on the city in the way that when you have, you know, such a good initiative such as Volunteer Citizens on Patrol, when the vehicles aren't clean, it's not giving a good image. So I wanted to know how this problem has arisen and what's being done to fix it.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming up and talking. We're very, very proud of our volunteer citizens on patrol. You know, we have over 100 of them, all doing a great job making sure that our city is not only safe, but a happy place. And we're very pleased with the addition of our staff. Not only do we have Philip Chateauvert as the director, but we also have Jean-Marc as also a manager, and now we have Alexandra as a manager as well. So there's a lot of people working in public safety, and they're the guys really to speak to about what's happening if the vehicles aren't clean, because we certainly do want them to be clean when they're on the street. And I'm sure that, I know Philip is here right in the back, that he'll take note of your comment, because we're very proud of our VCOPs and we're proud of those vehicles. So thank you. Are there any further questions? Oh, you wanted to ask something? Councillor Sabag, who's the portfolio councillor for VCOPs.
Thanks for your question. So I do have a question just real quick. Do you notice this just on VCOPs, or is it public safety vehicles as well?
No, I've noticed specifically on VCOPs.
Okay, because I do believe, Philip, if you correct me if I'm wrong, we do have the same service to clean the vehicles? Right, so it's, I don't know if this is something that you continuously see, but it is something that we try and upkeep very well, and they use the same service as our public safety officers as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So if there's no further questions, I'm going to move to item number 2, which is approval of the minutes. Councillor Sabag. The minutes of November the 11th. Minutes of the regular meeting of November 11th, I think I have written down. It's the minutes of the regular meeting of November 11th at 8 p.m. Wouldn't that be the right one? Let's just move those. So those are the ones that need to be approved. You wanted to move it, Councillor Torchman? You have it?
I don't have it.
Because it's the minutes of the regular meeting of November 11th, 2019 that we are asking for adoption. So moved, Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Ministry. Any Discussion, all in favor? Carried unanimously. We move to item number 3, business arising from the minutes. Any business arising? So departmental reports. Moved by Councillor Kajowski, seconded by Councillor Torjman. Any discussion on the departmental reports? Councillor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Joel Oldenburg, hopefully he'll watch this later on in the week. I'm very pleased to report that the city is going to be renovating the basketball court at Rembrandt Park. This is something that we've been talking about for many years right now. I mean, Rembrandt Park's had tremendous work done to it over the years. We're very grateful. They've redone the tennis courts. They've redone the lighting. We are now going to finally do the basketball court. Works are going to include installing new light fixtures, scarification of the existing asphalt, adding a new layer of asphalt, line painting, replacing of the basketball backboards, new rims, painting the basketball poles, new benches, and we'll be installing a 15-inch gate for the tennis court. The engineering department is going to start preparing plans, and the specification to launch the tender will be at the end of the spring 2020. So this will not be for the summer of 2020, but it'll be all ready for the summer of 2021. As well, I just wanted to update people on what's been happening with the different construction projects. We have the Equinox right now, as can be seen. I drive by it every day, several times a day, to check on it. The structure of the building is nearing the peak, the concrete slab of the 10th floor and counting, so it's going to be 13 stories, including the penthouse. They're hoping to begin closing the envelope of the building. That means exterior cladding and window installation on the lower floors as soon as they can in order to heat and begin interior work over the winter. The builder is making all efforts to keep the streets clean and nuisances to a minimum, and once the front section of the garage slab is completed, the material will be removed from the street and sidewalks adjacent to the site. So we'll continue to update as progress continues. And one final note, the Le Montefiore, that's what it's been called, the former Manmore Montefiore. It's taking much longer than expected to build this multifamily high-rise apartment building. It was a seniors residence. Unfortunately, the contractor working on the building discovered a significant water infiltration. I've received calls from people who've been disturbed by the noise, and it's really unfortunate, but it cannot be avoided. We're trying to keep it to a minimum. So there's been water infiltration in much of the exterior envelope of the building, and they've had to remove and replace many of the bricks on the upper floors. So the interior work apparently is progressing well. They hope to be finished the transformation into rental apartments by the spring of 2020. The developer is the same developer as the Equinox. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cohen and Councillor Torjman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as usual, the library is one of my portfolios. There are fantastic activities for kids coming up in December. Family story time, chess club, magic, the gathering. Look it up on the website. You're going to find a lot of information as to available programming for children. And we had a library book sales run by volunteers. And with that, we bought 4 virtual reality headsets. And we're using those in the created space for the adults and seniors. And it's a fantastic new tool that we have. And we're launching a program for that in the spring. So look out for that as well. So many activities. It's much more than books, but there are fantastic books available at the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Torjman. Councillor Erdely.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'll start on the finance side. If we compare last year to this year in terms of outstanding taxes, so these are payment of taxes that are still not yet in from 2018. Last year, at this time, or just before this time, we had sent out 74 letters. This year, we'd only sent out 49. We published the first round in the Suburban recently. Last year was 24, this year 16, so it's one of the lowest numbers. And the goal, of course, is to help all the residents make sure that their taxes are paid before February. As I've mentioned previously, in the last 14 years, we haven't had to sell any properties for non-payment of taxes. We hope the same is true. And I want to thank our Director of Finance, our Treasurer, Angelo Marino, and his department, who've been reaching out, along with the legal department, who've been reaching out to some of the residents who still have outstanding taxes and trying to encourage them to make payments monthly or weekly to help pay off their taxes and try to do it in a way that helps them. In terms of carports or tempos, this year we are at 113 as of the beginning of the month. We compared to last year, we were at 98, so slightly more, but still a relatively small amount of numbers when you consider the thousands of homes in Côte Saint-Luc. And the last thing just to mention, actually the last thing on the finance portfolio, I should say, is to mention that all residents in the last few weeks received their notice of evaluation for the new evaluation roll. Comes into effect on January 1st. With the evaluation, there's a code you received. You can go to Eval Web, which is the agglomeration site where you can see not just your evaluation, but if you have a code on the sheet you received, and that code allows you to go online and see the sale of properties in the vicinity of your home over the last few years. So it's very interesting. I looked it up myself to see, and I encourage residents to do that. If you're not sure how to do that, you can reach out to the finance department. And the last thing on District 4 side I wanted to mention is the Richard Schwartz skating rink is up. It's slightly larger this year, so thanks to the Recreation and Public Works Department, we made it a little bit bigger. Now all we have to do is hope that the weather cooperates. Today's warm weather and rain has not been so helpful. Tomorrow as well, from what I understand, will be a touch warm, but hopefully after that we'll get some cold weather and the skating rink will be up and running as soon as the weather allows it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just very quickly, the Côte Saint-Luc Dramatic Society, what's up? So we're in rehearsals for Merton of the Movies, which is going to be our comedy coming up in February. But first, on February 2nd, we're having puppets in Côte Saint-Luc for the first time. So we have a puppet company out of Ottawa called Rock the Arts that's bringing a show called Do You Believe? So it's for 3-year-olds and up. We're going to be starting advance sales in the next week or two, let's say, and then we'll have ticket sales at the door. They'll be doing 2 shows on Sunday, February 2nd. And again, very briefly, just something I'm proud to speak of at the Aquatic Center are a couple of initiatives at the ACC. They're beginning a program called Swimmigration, which is to, as part of a program to prevent drowning in the province, to teach newly arrived immigrants to Canada to swim. So these are older children, younger children, and we're partnering with MIS on that, who are the organization that gives private lessons in Côte Saint-Luc at the Aquatic Center. And as well, there will be the installation of an adult changing table at the Aquatic Center to accommodate adults who are clients of the care center across the street in the former Wager High School building. So that'll be so that those severely disabled adults can now use our pool, which is very exciting for us because, well, I told the director this, that I'm very excited to bring my kids to the family changing room and show them this new piece of equipment and why we installed it, and that our aquatic center should be accessible to all. So it's something that we should be very proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kuchowski. Any further discussion? Okay, I just want to announce that on Thursday, for those, we've already posted it on our website. We're putting a half-page ad in the Suburban. We have David Kaiser, the medical doctor from the Direction Générale de Santé Publique, who will be coming for a consultation on Thursday at 7:30 here at City Hall to talk about drinking water and lead pipes. So he is the authority that will be able to answer any questions regarding health issues. As everybody in this room knows, and I'm sure beyond, we have been providing a lot of information through our Director of Communications, who is the point person for any further questions on our plans, accelerated plans, including a $50 rebate on the purchase of any type of filter for the individuals who may have lead pipes in their homes, the testing of all homes as fast as possible. We're going to go to tender next year and see if we can get it all done in 2020 of all homes that we believe may have lead pipes. And we're accelerating the change of our pipes as fast as humanly possible over the coming years in those homes that may have lead pipes. And the statistics that in Montreal that we have are that approximately 18% of our population may have lead pipes, but Montreal believes it's around 11%. So that would be about 1,800 homes. The question is finding those homes, and water testing is the best way to do so, so that's what we want to do first. Any other questions on monthly reports? Okay, so moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now we move to number 5, which is financial services. Councillor Erdely.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby approves to furnish a credit card to employee Steve Lemieux, Manager of Information Technology, with a credit limit of $5,000 specifically for the purchase of technology-related goods and services, and that said resolution shall be for immediate action.
Moved by Councillor Erdely, seconded by Councillor Berku. Any discussion?
So just, if I may explain.
Go ahead.
The city has a few employees that have official credit cards. Any purchase done through the credit cards is vetted both by the staff and also by the audit committee, which meets roughly every 4 to 6 weeks. And the goal of this is, of course, especially in information technology and IT, more and more purchases today are made online, either through Amazon or other online pages. So it just ensures that the city is as efficient as possible.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. Move to item 5B. Councillor Erdely.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Angelo Marino, Treasurer of the City, is appointed authorized representative and the person responsible for the purposes of this resolution to communicate with Revenue Quebec for all matters related to city operations, and that Mariam Nouneh, Payroll Manager of the City, be authorized to communicate with Revenue Quebec for all source deductions and payroll matters, and that Angelo Marino be authorized to sign any document required by Revenue Quebec for the purpose of this resolution.
Moved by Councillor Erdely, seconded by Councillor Berku. Any discussion?
So just to explain, in 2018, the council adopted a resolution that gave Director Marino, our treasurer, authorization to communicate with Revenue Quebec through Click Secure, which is their main website that's used both by individuals and by cities to communicate electronically with Revenue Quebec. We assumed that this would be good for all different government aspects or all aspects of Revenue Quebec. We were told apparently it is only for certain aspects, not others, and thus, I guess, to manage Quebec logistical issues, we have to adopt a second resolution, which we're adopting today.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We go to 5C.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the attached list of disbursements for the period of November 1st, 2019 to November 30th, 2019 for a total amount of $6,185,833.66 in Canadian funds, and that Treasurer Certificate number 19-0148 dated December 3rd, 2019 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Erdely, seconded by Councillor Berku. Any discussion?
So just to mention, this is larger than our normal disbursements. Normally, we're in the vicinity of about $3 million. So this is just over $6 million. A large portion of that, about $2.5 million, is for the arena project, which from what I understand is coming along very well and may even be ready, I don't want to say it, but may even be ready slightly ahead of schedule, but I don't necessarily want to say that too loud. I don't want to jinx it. I know, it's too late, it's on film now, so it's on video. And as well, a payment for the rehabilitation of roads that took place over the summer. And those are the two largest items in this month's disbursements. Yeah, so hopefully I didn't jinx it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to item number 6, General Management. 6A, Councillor Benizri.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc Council hereby grants an additional 9-month period, namely up until and including October 8, 2020, to the purchaser to exercise their rights under paragraph 2.3 of the agreement.
Moved by Councillor Benizri, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion?
Just to mention that this is concerning the Kollel Avrechim Foundation. We are giving them, a little bit more time to be able to buy their new property, if I can say. Yeah.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That passed with Councillor Berku and Councillor Erdely dissenting. Now we move to item number 7. 7A, Councillor Kajavsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc Council approves the decision made on November 6, 2019 to suspend employee number 1421 of the Parks and Recreation Department until November 20th, 2019 conclusive.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Cohen. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And we move to 7B, Councillor Cohen. Extension of the 2019 student mandates in human resources and legal departments.
Yeah, got it. I so move, Mr. Mayor, that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the extension of the student mandate for those employees whose names are listed in the document entitled 2019 Students Extension of Mandate dated November 28, 2019, and that said employee's term of employment will be as per the respective dates indicated on the aforementioned list. That Treasurer Certificate number 190144 dated November 29, 2019 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Cohen, seconded by Councillor Berku. Yes. Thank you. Any discussion? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to 7C. Councillor Sabat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc approves the hiring of Alexandre Perrault as the division. We have order, please, Mr. Mayor.
Excited.
Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc approves the hiring of Alexandre Perrault as the Division Chief of Emergency Medical Services and Dispatch Management Contract position for a fixed-term contract effective November 11, 2019 to November 11, 2020. That the Treasurer Certificate number 19-0140 dated November 27, 2019 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of the funds to cover the above described expenses.
Thank you, Councillor Sabat, seconded by Councillor Torgman. Any discussion?
Well, I'm very happy to welcome Alexandre to the family. I think I mentioned this already at the VCOP Christmas party. This is something that I feel is going to bring stability to the department, much needed stability. I look forward to a very successful year, and you know, we're here to support the department with the council and the VCOPs as well. So welcome to the family.
Big welcome. Very pleased with all the work you've been doing, and we look forward for many years together. Everybody seems to love you. You have it going really well. You're a good trio now. You and Philip and Jean-Marc. Good guys. Thank you so much. So moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now we move on to item 7D, which is Councillor Berku. Hiring of a permit clerk.
Page 220.
Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc Council approves the hiring of Christian Janus as temporary admission of permit clerk, white-collar auxiliary position in the Urban Development Department effective November 4th, 2019, that the Treasurer's Certificate number 19-0141 dated November 27th, 2019 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Kajewski. Any discussion?
Well, it's just that we need to fill a temporary vacancy. So we've asked Christian Janus, who is retired, to come back and work for a while, and he's graciously accepted, so we know he can do the work.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to item E. Councillor Benizri.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the promotion of Jeffrey Poultuskier to the superior function of driver operator of motorized equipment B, Class 10, according to Article 3.03 of the Blue Collar Collective Agreement, effective July 30, 2019. That Treasurer's Certificate number 19-0142, dated November 27, 2019, has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Benizri, seconded by Councillor Kujawski. Kujawski, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? No one's opposed. Carried unanimously. And we move to item F, renewal of contracts for swim team. Councillor Kujawski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the contract renewals for Callie Wong as the Côte Saint-Luc Aquatics Artistic Swimming Coach, Sarah Yamani as the Côte Saint-Luc Aquatics Youth Swim Team Coach, Kyla Rollinson and Alexander Nowakowski as Côte Saint-Luc Aquatics Triathlon Coaches, and Linda Babbins as the Côte Saint-Luc Aquatics Swim Team Coach. Each of the aforementioned coaches have fixed-term management contracts, and details are stipulated on the attached list entitled Appointment of Coaches, Management Fixed-Term Contracts. That Treasurer's Certificate number 19-0143, dated November 27, 2019, has been issued by the City Treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Kujawski, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion?
Self-explanatory, renewal of all the swim team coaches and other aquatics coaches.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to item G, 7G, Councillor Berku. Status change of building inspector.
The Côte Saint-Luc Council hereby approves the change of status of Pierre Lemai's employment from auxiliary building inspector to permanent building inspector effective November 6, 2019.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Torjman. Any discussion?
Simply to say that we're pleased with his work, and so therefore we're giving him the permanent status of building inspector.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to item H, Councillor Berku. End of employment of a white-collar employee.
Be it resolved that Treasurer's Certificate number 19-0151 dated December 3rd, 2019. No, this is not the right resolution. Whereas employee number 3271 was hired by the City of Côte Saint-Luc as a white-collar auxiliary employee on November 12, 2018 to complete a mandate. Whereas employee number 3271 has successfully completed the mandate, the city no longer requires her services. That as a result of the completion of the mandate, the Côte Saint-Luc Council approves the termination of employment of white-collar auxiliary employee number 3271, effective December 23rd, 2019.
Thank you, Councillor Berku. Seconded by Councillor Kujawski. Thank you. Any discussion?
It's just okay, fine.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously, and now we move to item I, 7I, Councillor Berku. Appointment of Maître Jason Prévost as the Assistant City Clerk, the man sitting right there, for a permanent position. Well deserved.
Yes. So be it resolved, the Côte Saint-Luc Council approves the status change of the position of Assistant City Clerk currently held by Jason Prévost from contract management to permanent management effective December 2nd, 2019.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Kujawski. Any discussion? First, I'm going to say that I am very, very thrilled to have you as a full-time employee in our legal department. He's a great assistant city clerk and a legal source that we always can go to. Now that we have Jonathan Schechter as a director of legal services, we have another attorney, Maître Prévost. We are so pleased to have you with us, and thank you for all your great work. So, moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. Okay. And now we move on to Legal Services and City Clerk, his department. 8A, Councillor Erdely.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Councillor Dida Berku is and shall be named acting mayor of the City of Côte Saint-Luc effective January 1st, 2020, up to and until March 31st, 2020 inclusively, and further that the aforementioned Councillor Berku shall have and may exercise the powers of the mayor when the said mayor is absent or unable to perform the duties of his office.
So that is moved by Councillor Erdely, seconded by Councillor Cohen. And for discussion, so we have this ongoing thing in terms of what is an acting mayor. En français, c'est le maire suppléant, which is a substitute mayor. And it's very clear what a substitute mayor is. But an acting mayor is not as clear. So in further documentation, we may just use the French, which is much clearer and says what an acting mayor does, which is they substitute the mayor when the mayor's not there. While an acting mayor sounds like the mayor's going away somewhere and they're acting on their behalf. And we have had many questions on that. I even had one today from the media asking me, why is Councillor Berku going to be the acting mayor? Am I going somewhere? So I think we have to start using another term. So that is what an acting mayor is. It's a maire supplément, substitute, suppléant, which is a substitute mayor when the mayor is not available for a meeting or for whatever other purpose. So moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? So Councillor Berku will be the mayor suppléant going forward for the next 3 months. Thank you, Councillor Berku. All in favor? So it was moved by Councillor Erdely, second by Councillor Cohen. All in favor? No one opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Now we move to item 8B. Councillor Berku. It's you again. It's a resolution to receive pecuniary interest.
Okay. So, 235? Yeah, okay, thank you. The following members of council deposited their statements of pecuniary interest at tonight's council meeting. Mitchell Brownstein, Sidney Ben-Izri, Mike Cohn, Stephen Erdely, Mitch Kajavsky, Oren Sebag, and David Torchman. Be it resolved that the Council of Côte Saint-Luc officially declare that such statements of pecuniary interest have been received and instructs the City Clerk to deposit same in the archives of the city, as well as to send the official list of those who filed their declaration to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Habitation.
Okay, moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Cohen. Any discussion on the pecuniary interest statements? That's every year all elected officials are obliged to fill out this document stating any potential conflicts in terms of ownership or positions that they may have. So it's all on record, what they do officially. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now we move to item 8C. Councillor Erdely.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the 2020 municipal by-election, be it resolved that for the 2020 municipal by-election and until modified, the rate payable to the following election officers be established according to the table annexed herewith as Annex A to form an integral part of the minutes.
Moved by Councillor Erdely, seconded by Councillor Berku. Sure. Any discussion on that?
So just to explain this, what this bylaw does is it sets the hourly rate or daily rates for the different people working who will work at the upcoming election. For example, the president of the election, the secretary of the election, the different revising officers, the polling clerks, and so on. And it sets the rates for each of these employees.
Moved by Councillor Erdely, seconded by Councillor Berku. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. Move to item D, and this is a notice of motion and a tabling. So we're having Councillor Erdely do that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hereby give notice of motion that bylaw 2321-5 to be entitled Bylaw 2321-5, amending bylaw 2321 concerning speed in streets in order to modify the speed limit on Côte Saint-Luc Road between the western limit of the same and Westminster Avenue will be presented at a later meeting for adoption. I hereby mention the object and scope of bylaw 2321-5 to be entitled Bylaw 2321-5, amending bylaw 2321 concerning speed in the streets in order to modify the speed limit on Côte Saint-Luc Road between the western limit of the same and Westminster Avenue. And I'm now tabling a draft bylaw 2321-5 entitled Bylaw 2321-5, amending bylaw 2321 concerning speed in the streets in order to modify the speed limit on Côte Saint-Luc Road between the western limit of the same and Westminster Avenue.
Thank you, Councillor Erdely. And then we move to the next item, which is also a notice of motion and tabling, so there's no vote on it, and that will also be Councillor Erdely.
Oh, first, just if I may, the purpose of the previous bylaw is to reduce the speed limit. For most of that, it is actually at 50 kilometers an hour, most of the stretch of Côte Saint-Luc Road west of Westminster, and the goal is to reduce it to 40 kilometers with the exception of the stretch in front of Richard Schwartz Park, which will remain at 30 kilometers an hour.
Thank you. And you can move on to the next one.
Okay, and the next one. So, just 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. So, for the next one,
It's the tariffs, consolidating existing tariffs.
so the next one is consolidating the tariffs, and I'm just trying to find. Okay, 1 second here. All right, I found it. I hereby give notice of motion that bylaw 2539 to be entitled bylaw 2539 to consolidate all existing tariffs for the City of Côte Saint-Luc will be presented at a later meeting for adoption. And I hereby mention the object and scope of bylaw 2539 to be entitled bylaw 2539 to consolidate all existing tariffs for the City of Côte Saint-Luc. Furthermore, I table the draft bylaw 2539 to be entitled bylaw 2539 to consolidate all existing tariffs for the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Thank you, Councillor Erdely. And you can go and explain it.
Oh, so just to mention briefly, what this is doing, it's not actually creating any new tariffs or any new fees, but it's taking the different fees and tariffs that are in multiple different bylaws and putting them into one. Whereas in the past, you had to search through multiple bylaws. This is the work of our legal department, and will make it more efficient for the city and for residents as well.
Thank you, Councillor. And now we move on to Public Works Department. Oh, no, we move on to Jonathan Schechter. He has to do F, G, and H.
Yes. So,
Mayor Schechter.
thank you very, very much. I will be tabling 3 documents tonight, as required by law. And I will give you the titles of the document and then explain exactly what I will be tabling. So the first is a letter from the Quebec Ministry of Municipal Affairs. The second one is a notice to members of council concerning the date of the upcoming by-election. And the third concerns a legal register that needs to be tabled. So in the first case, the city asked the Quebec Ministry of Municipal Affairs for an extension to call a by-election given the Christmas holidays, so the winter vacation. So the city required a few extra weeks to be able to prepare the by-election, and as well there were residents that would be absent during this certain time period. So for all those reasons, the ministry agreed, and we got the extension, and so the by-election is April 5th. And so that is a segue to the second notice or memorandum that I'm tabling. According to the law, council needs to be advised as soon as possible. And the most expedient way to advise council is by way of a council meeting to formally do it. And at the same time, the public receives notice of the contents of this memorandum in terms of the date of the by-election. And then the third item is a register of any gift that's not of a purely private nature, which exceeds $200 received by a member of council over this calendar year. So we are tabling a register. There are no indications in the register, which means no gifts were received exceeding that amount. But once again, the bylaw 2496, which readopted bylaw 2424, requires that in December at the regular council meeting, this register be tabled. So I am hereby tabling the register.
Thank you, Mayor Schechter. Okay, so now we move on to item number 9, Public Works Department, 9A, Councillor Ben Israel.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc conseille par la présente octroie un contrat pour le remplacement du système de gestion du carburant et de la flotte de véhicules de la ville à Air Dumas Incorporé, le plus bas soumissionnaire en vertu de la loi, pour le montant de 62 160 $ plus les taxes applicables. Que de plus le conseil par la présente octroie à Air Dumas Incorporé un contrat d'entretien et support des 10 systèmes de gestion du carburant et de la flotte de véhicules de la ville pour une durée de 5 ans, débutant en 2020 et expirant en 2024, pour le montant de 14 640 $ plus les taxes applicables. Que les dépenses décrites seront financées par les règlements d'emprunt numéro 2526 et 2526-02, déjà approuvés par le ministère des Affaires municipales et de l'Habitation et par le budget opérationnel respectivement. Que les certificats du trésorier numéro TC 19-0147, daté du 2 décembre 2019, a été émis par le trésorier de la ville, attestant la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses initiales pour le remplacement du système de gestion du carburant et de la flotte de véhicules pour le montant de 62 160 $ plus les taxes applicables.
Proposé par le conseiller Benisri, appuyé par le conseiller Erdely. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? So this is the replacement of fuel fleet management system, and this was the lowest bid. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously, and then we move to 9B. Councillor 9B, Councillor Kajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll read the whereas. Whereas by resolution number 140821 made on August 11, 2014, the Côte Saint-Luc City Council awarded the tender contract number C-18-14-18 for janitorial services to Les Services Adaptés Transit, the lowest conforming bidder, for the period September 1, 2014 to December 31st, 2016, whereas on December 18, 2015, Les Services Adaptés Transit changed its name to Axia Services, whereas by resolution 161228 made on December 12, 2016, the Council exercised the 2 option years of the contract until December 31, 2018, whereas Axia Services is a nonprofit agency that hires people with disabilities, and as such, according to Section 573.3, subparagraph 2.3K of the Cities and Towns Act, the city may award Axia a contract for janitorial services without a call for tenders if the expenditure does not exceed $365,700.00. Whereas by resolution number 181127 made on November 12, 2018, the Council awarded a contract by mutual agreement for janitorial services to Axia for the period January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, based on the same terms and conditions as those of the tender C-18-14-18, whereas the City wishes to award again a contract by mutual agreement for janitorial services to Axia for an amount not to exceed $265,206.81 plus applicable taxes for the period January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020, based on the same terms and conditions as those of the tender C-18-14-18. Be it resolved that the Council hereby awards a 1-year contract for janitorial services to Axia for the period January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020 for an amount not to exceed $265,206.81 plus applicable taxes. That a treasurer's certificate will be issued in January 2020 to attest to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses. That the city's general counsel be hereby authorized to sign a letter of agreement between the parties stating the terms and conditions of the contracts.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Spag. Any discussion?
I think it was all in there.
Yeah,
For the janitorial contracts.
It was, and
to Axia.
and they're very nice. We
Been
really,
very
we
happy.
really like the personnel that they're sending us from that company. Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor? All in favor of the janitorial service contract? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously, and we move to 9C. Councillor Benisri, 9C.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de Côte Saint-Luc, par la présente, octroie un contrat pour l'achat de fleurs annuelles pour l'année 2020 à l'Esser YG Pinsonneau pour une somme n'excédant pas 34 403,45 $ plus les taxes applicables. Qu'un certificat du trésorier sera émis en début de l'année 2020 pour attester la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé par le conseiller Benisri, appuyé par le conseiller Kajewski. Pour les fleurs, merci. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously for flowers. And now we move to 9D. Councillor Benizri.
Yes, so just... Voilà. Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc, conseil déclare par la présente la non-conformité technique de la soumission reçue de équipement Stinson Québec Incorporé et par conséquent cette soumission est rejetée. Que le conseil par la présente octroie un contrat pour l'achat d'une boîte chauffante à asphalte à Perma Route Incorporée à la suite de l'appel d'offres C-30-19 pour le montant de 65 000 $ plus les taxes applicables. Que les dépenses décrites seront financées par le règlement d'emprunt numéro 2526 déjà approuvé par le ministère des Affaires municipales et occupation du territoire. Que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 19-0146 daté du 2 décembre 2019 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville attestant la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Moved by Councillor Benizri, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion? This is for one asphalt heated box, which is how we keep the asphalt hot for up to, I think, 48 hours in order that can be used properly. And again, we took the lowest bidder. So moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And we move to the next item, which is 9E. Councillor Benizri.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc, par la présente, approuve l'entente de consultation entre la ville et SAE Incorporé pour les services de Matthieu Tzaud, technicien arboricole, pour un taux honoraire de 57,95 $ jusqu'à un maximum de 41 724 $ plus les taxes applicables, pour une période de 6 mois à compter de janvier 2020. Que le certificat du trésorier sera émis au début de l'année 2020 par le trésorier de la ville attestant la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites. Que la conseillère générale de la ville soit par la présente autorisée à signer l'entente de consultation susmentionnée.
Proposé par le conseiller Benizri, appuyé par le conseiller Sabag. Est-ce qu'il y a de discussion? Okay, so this one is our horticulturalist. We lost our horticulturalist, and in the interim, we are hiring a company who specializes in the field of horticultural, and they are sending us Matthieu Tzaud as the individual who's a specialist in horticulturalism, and he will be receiving up to a maximum of $41,724, but we do need somebody in the interim, so that's why we're going to this specialized company. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously, and we move to item F. Councillor Benizri, item F.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc, par la présente, reconnaît, confirme et ratifie les paiements pour l'achat de divers équipements de parc à Tech Sport Incorporé pour le montant de 64 962 $ et 44 cents, plus les taxes applicables, et à Equipark manufacturier d'équipements de parc incorporé pour le montant de 35 559,02 $, plus les taxes applicables pour un montant total de 100 486,62 $, plus les taxes applicables. Que 77 386,39 $ des dépenses décrites seront financées à même le compte de surplus accumulé de la ville, soit du projet numéro SUR 2018-REC 5.PW01, et que le reste du montant, soit 23 100,23 $, sera financé à même le budget opérationnel. Que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC19-0152, daté du 4 décembre 2019, a été émis par le trésorier municipal, attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé par le conseiller Benizri, appuyé par le conseiller Kajavski. Okay, est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? So this is just payments for purchase of various parts, equipment for different areas of our city. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to number 10, purchasing. Councillor Berku. Meleve on the hypothetical.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby authorizes that the legal hypothet bearing inscription number 5279112, registered on August 3rd, 2001, be and is hereby radiated and Maleve be granted. The council hereby authorizes the city's general counsel to sign a deed of radiation of the legal hypothec bearing inscription number 5279112, and that notary Maître Robert Alain be and is hereby authorized to prepare and publish the deed of radiation at no cost to the city.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Torchman. Any discussion? It's just a standard procedure to remove this.
Yes, it's a legal hypothec that was registered in 2001 and for some reason was never radiated. I guess the owner now needs to dispose of the property, so the notary is asking us to radiate the hypothec.
Okay, moved by Councillor Berku and seconded by Councillor Torchman. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now we move to item 10B, Councillor Torchman. Councillor B.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
10B.
That the City of Côte Saint-Luc Council hereby acknowledges, confirms, and ratifies the payment to Tyson Krupp Elevator Canada Limited for the repair work to the City Hall elevator for a total amount of $54,870.19 plus applicable taxes. That the Treasurer Certificate number TC 19-0149 dated December 2, 2019 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Torchman, seconded by Councillor Cohen. Thank you. Any discussion? Everybody's getting tired of it.
This is just major repairs to the City Hall elevator. The cylinder had to be replaced, and well, it's the cost of repairing an elevator.
That's it. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We move to item 11, urban development. Councillor Berku, 11A. Conduits. Conduits, and then, no?
422, page 422.
Be it resolved that City Council Côte Saint-Luc hereby acknowledges, confirms, and ratifies the payment to TRJ Telecom for the installation of conduits on certain city streets for a total amount of $45,765 plus applicable taxes, that the described expenses shall be financed from Loan Bylaw 2523 and 2523-2, previously approved by the Ministère des Affaires municipales et de l'Habitation, that Treasurer's Certificate number TC 19-0150 dated December 3rd, 2019 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Torchman. Any discussion?
Just to explain that this work was done mostly in District 7. In October 2019, the City of Côte Saint-Luc gave Bell the permit to install fiber optic conduits on certain streets in District 7. And at the same time, City decided to mandate the same contractor used by Bell, which is TRJ Telecom, to install empty conduits for future use in District 7 for the conversion to the LED lights, right?
For the replacement of
Of the poles for the LED lights, right? So,
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now we move to item 11B, which is the contract for the renovation of urban planning department. Councillor Berku.
me.
It's you.
Okay. So, be it resolved, the City Council hereby cancel the public call for tenders under tender number C-04 19C that was launched on April 24th, 2019, that the council hereby awards a contract for contractor services for the renovation of the Urban Planning Department area pursuant to tender number C-04-19C1 to Indigo Construction, the lowest bidder under the law, for a total amount of $85,942.93 plus applicable taxes, that furthermore the city may consider an amount of 10% plus applicable taxes for any potential contingencies and extras if required, that shall first be approved according to the city's procedures. That the described expenses shall be financed in whole from the city's working fund as a non-interest-bearing loan, and that the council shall provide every year out of its general fund a sum sufficient to repay the loan back into the working fund. That the terms of repayment shall not exceed 5 years, that the treasurer's certificate number TC 19-0145 dated December 2nd, 2019 has been issued by the city treasurer attesting availability of the funds for the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Torjman, I believe. Thank you. Any discussion on the renovations to Urban Planning Department? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously, and now we move on to item 12, which is urban development. Item 12A, Councillor Torjman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Que le Conseil autorise par la présente la révision des annexes B et C en remplaçant les annexes amendées B et C faisant partie de la résolution 170915. Que le Conseil déclare que l'étape 5 du plan de construction doit être réalisée d'ici décembre 2020.
OK, proposé par le conseiller Torjman, appuyé par le conseiller Cohen. Est-ce qu'il y a discussion? Councillor Torjman?
Yeah, so I'll explain it in English and then in French if needed. There's a construction project at 5760 and 5790 Parkhaven. Due to various construction delays, we're just allowing another year for construction. We're foreseeing the construction period to be a lot shorter than that, but just for administrative purposes, we're granting another year.
Okay, any other discussion? Councillor Erdl?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be voting against this resolution for a few reasons. First, this is not the first extension we've given to this project. There's been a few extensions over the years. Second, for this project, there are certain permits, not necessarily for this phase, but for some of the previous phases, there are certain permits going back to 2014, which are still not paid. And for me to give an extension to an organization that has permits, significant permit fees that are outstanding, doesn't make sense at this point. I would prefer that they pay the permit fees that have been granted, pay the fees in full, including interest, before we grant them any extension. For me to not do so would be irresponsible on behalf of the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Erdl. Any discussion? Further discussion, Councillor Torjman?
I want to clarify that the extensions and delays were not on this project. They were on other projects. For this particular project, there were no extensions, and the permit, the dues, are not related to this project. So we just want to clarify that.
On a point of order, the original plans show that the project for this tower was to be completed by 2014, December 31st, 2014. It's actually, sorry, if I may, again, on a point of order, it's the second delay. It was granted an extension in 2017 as well, for this project as well.
Okay, so any other discussion? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Those opposed? Carried with Councillor Berku and Councillor Erdl dissenting. Now we move on to item 12B, which is Councillor Berku.
Mayor, this is the bylaw amendment that we consulted on at the beginning of the meeting. Just looking for the resolution. So be it resolved that in conformity with an act respecting land use and development, the Council of the City of Côte Saint-Luc hereby adopts the bylaw number 2088-10 entitled Bylaw to amend Bylaw 2088 entitled Consolidated Building Bylaw of the City of Côte Saint-Luc in order to repeal the text of Article 7-7D and to replace it with new text. And That's basically what the resolution says. So once it's seconded, I'll just give a little explanation.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Kajavsky. Thank you. Any discussion? Go ahead.
So as you explained previously, this amendment changes the following. Sprinklers will no longer be required in extensions for residential homes, and sprinklers will be required when homes damaged by fire are reconstructed.
Only extensions for homes built before 1997 that didn't have sprinklers, those will not be required sprinklers. Homes built before after 1997 that do have sprinklers and have an extension will require sprinklers. That's the exact. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. So if you had to have sprinklers before, if you're going to do an extension, you're going to have to maintain your sprinklers. If you do an extension in a home that didn't require sprinklers, then you will not require sprinklers.
Correct.
Okay.
And of course, if a house is completely demolished and have to be rebuilt, then you'll require sprinklers.
Correct.
Those are the changes. Okay. So moved and seconded, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And then we move on to item 12.1. Councillor Berku.
So this is the site plan for the property that was, for which we approved the demolition at the beginning of the meeting. Be it resolved that site planning and architectural integration program received October 16, 2019, showing elevations for the construction of a new two-story detached single-family dwelling on lot 105-3248 at 5616 McMurray, and prepared by Mr. Guzman, architect, for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of October 23, 2019, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Thank you, Councillor Berku. Seconded by Councillor Cohen. Any discussion on the McMurray plan?
Well, as explained, you know, this project went through various stages of consultation and PAC meetings, and the result is a property that is an extension, obviously, but we felt that, you know, it ultimately conforms to the zoning and to the requirements of the neighborhood.
Okay, moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Cohen. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Councillor Kajavsky dissenting. Carried with Councillor Kajavsky dissenting. 12.2, Councillor Berku.
Okay, so this is the one minor exemption that's required for this property. Actually, there's two minor exemptions. Okay, so that in accordance with the provisions of bylaw G 18-0005, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 5616 McMurray be and is hereby approved. The whole is more amply delineated hereunder. The request is in order to allow the construction of a new two-story, single-family detached dwelling without having to provide a two-car garage, one-car garage existing, when the dwelling area is more than 1,800 square feet, excluding the area of the garage and basement floor. And two, to be located at 3 feet from the southeast side property land line instead of the minimum required setback of 6.5 feet. The whole notwithstanding the provisions of zoning bylaw 2217, Annex B, Zone RU 23, Article 7-2-1A.
Thank you, Councillor Berku. Seconded by Councillor Cohen. Any discussion? So it's the same item once again, but it's the minor exemption. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried with Councillor Kajavsky dissenting. Item 12.2.2, Councillor Berku.
This is a minor exemption for property on Norfolk. Then be it resolved in accordance with the provisions of bylaw G 18-0005, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 8103 Norfolk, lot 1209575, be and is hereby approved. The whole is more amply delineated hereunder. The request is in order to allow for an existing semi-detached single-family dwelling built in 1954 under permit number 28 to be located at 12.7 feet 12.07 feet from the land line facing Smart Avenue instead of the minimum required secondary front setback of 15 feet. The whole notwithstanding the provisions of zoning bylaw 2217, Annex B, Zone RU-13.
Moved by Councillor Berku, seconded by Councillor Cohen. Thank you. Any discussion on Norfolk? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now we move to item 13, stances on the Agglomeration Council. Councillor Sabag. Or anybody who has it can read it. It's fine. Go ahead. It's just to be it resolved.
Be it resolved that the following stands in view of the Agglomeration Council meeting to be held January 2020 as follows. To authorize the mayor or his duly authorized replacement to make any decisions he deems necessary and in the best interest of the City of Côte Saint-Luc and its residents regarding the items on the agenda of the Agglomeration Council meetings to be held January 2020 based on the information to be presented during those meetings.
Moved by Councillor Sabag, seconded by Councillor Kajaski. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And now any other business? Second question period. Move for adjournment.
So moved.
Councillor Sabag, seconded by Councillor Kajaski. All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you.